make it clear today that my administration will focus on ending the absolutely horrific practice of human trafficking.
I must have dreamed 1,000 dreams.
And I am prepared to bring the full force and weight of our government in order to solve this horrific problem.
Haunted by a million screams.
Solving the human trafficking epidemic is a priority for my administration.
There's too many men, too many people making too many problems. And I'm not
25 million adults and children. That is the number of people believed to be exploited by human trafficking worldwide.
confusion. This is the world we live in. These are the hands we're given. Use them and let's start trying to make it a place worth living.
Without you, nothing would happen.
Oh, Superman, where are you now? And everything's gone wrong somehow. The men of steel, the men of power, losing control by the hour. This is the time, this is the place, so we look to the future. There's not much left to go round. Tell me why this is the land of confusion. This is the world we live in, and these are the names we're given. Stand up and let's start showing.
Hey everybody, welcome to Truth Tuesday. Second half, first half is over on Lisa's channel. Which you can go and check that out. The link to her channel is in the description, but it's also on my main page on my channel. Welcome.
Mhm.
Good to see you again, Lisa.
A great video. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep. Which you've brought up that like there was so much activity in shutting those things down. I saw it like here in a local area, where like sheriff's departments and stuff were shutting down like prostitution rings, and the whole back page thing that was shut down, which was like the biggest thing.
Well, there was that big bust during the F1 race in Las Vegas. There was a huge bust.
There was. I was watching the race.
Mhm. Yeah, they arrested, I can't remember, more than 70 people looking for children.
Really?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's insane. Those people that they adopted a kid, 2 kids are.
2 little boys.
Yeah. And then the WEF doctor that said that it's just.
Oh, you know who else got busted? An MLB guy?
Really?
Yeah, and shipped back to Venezuela. He got deported for having sex with a 13-year-old.
Hmm.
They call it having sex with. It's raping.
Yeah, now we know what it takes to get deported.
Mhm.
All right. Well, some other stuff I thought is pretty crazy, and we talked about on your channel how I was thinking that the way Zelensky just tells you you're going to give him money, and
He's arrogant about
when he
it.
came over and said,
Mhm.
"Your sons are gonna die for my country," he literally said like that.
Mhm.
It was so what? But he has to have tons of like regular old school dirt on all these countries' governments.
Just like Gone with the Wind.
It's insane. You think Epstein had all that like that side of it. I think Zelensky probably has more of like the traditional, money laundering.
Well, he has the biolab information.
Biolabs, things that are like illegally. What's
So
the word?
Hunter's supposed to testify this Friday, I think.
Mhm.
And like I had shared, somebody shared on Twitter and I found it, and I'm sure I put it in Telegram, but there was a report, a financial report, that Hunter owned a biolab out of Ukraine, and it was solely funded by the US government, over $23 million that went into that, and then had payouts.
Well,
So, the big guy got his cut of that.
the big guy's been getting his cut for a long time, and nothing seems to be
Mhm.
happening. It's very, very frustrating. Good to see all of y'all here in the chat. I did want to talk about something that I'm seeing. It's this. I didn't hear until we talked that the president said that he was a
He's
Zionist.
a Zionist,
The
yes.
word, which I don't think has a lot of credibility, because I think you could have him say anything. I think he's not.
Yeah, he also said he graduated top whatever
Yeah,
in his
that was
class.
he's been lying forever. But I
Yeah.
think that now, I think he's just literally a shell of a person, and he's just being completely controlled. But what's weird is that the left seems to agree with that, and the right, but no one is asking, well, then
Should we do something about it? Yeah.
well, who's pulling the string? That's what I would want to know. Who's the actual person in control? That's where I think things.
And why aren't we doing anything about it?
Yeah.
I mean, here's Donald Trump's one of the most intelligent people, and he's, had the first time, there's the most peaceful president ever. He's solved all these problems. Like, he was reading the list, just busting this reporter's chops in this interview the other day, which I think I just retweeted yesterday. Or maybe it was last night. And he lists like all these things that got accomplished in the first like 2 years of his presidency. And then they have the nerve to remember when they were wanting him to take the competency test and all that.
Yeah, and it was a huge thing.
And then the media, misled the public on what the questions were, because the way the test goes is that they start out with like, what day is it? Is an elephant bigger than a mouse? All that. But then it gets exponentially more difficult. But they made it sound like he got, a pass on his test or whatever. But we know the media lie, mainstream media lies to people.
Yeah. I remember it was under Obama, and Biden did something absolutely moronic. And I was shocked how nobody cared. I mean, quail spelled potato wrong, and that was it for years.
Mhm.
For years, it was like, "Oh, you're the dumbest vice president in the world."
Mhm.
It's like, no, I graduated from
Until Joe Biden.
I just put. That's how you spell potatoes. There's no e on the end, but potatoes has an e. He was literally like a Saturday Night Live's joke. He was a joke of a vice president from that one thing, and Biden did something way worse, and it was like nobody cared, and I was like, that's got to show you right there. You know what I mean? And it wasn't the only thing. He did like a few like massive bonehead things as vice president that were just completely stupid, and nobody cared. No, it was not a big deal. And literally, quail just misspelled a word once, which honestly we've all done.
Two-tiered system.
Yeah.
It started a long time ago.
Speaking of the two-tiered system, I've noticed, and if you got to say what is, I think, the truth, that the Jews are God's chosen people. That's it. They are. There's so many things that happened the last time all the Arab nations went against Israel. Crazy stories by like hardened soldiers. There was a whole unit of Iraqi soldiers that surrendered to like 8 Israeli soldiers, and every single one of them said that there were massive angels all over the place with weapons pointed at them. I mean, I don't know why you would say that. That was back when Saddam was around and in power. Like, you're gonna get probably killed, your family's going to get killed. And
So
they
have you heard these reports about like Muslim men hearing the voice of God or hearing that they need to like repent and submit to God, and they're literally like turning their life over to Christ?
But I wanted to talk about the insane
Search it up.
anti-Semitic stuff that is really, really bad.
Oh,
I saw on
are you talking about that college, Georgia?
I saw on Twitter that there's this father who's adopted this kid, and he's scared to like bring out the menorah and light it because he thinks that everyone would like attack his house or something. When I grew up, people put that in the window. They lit it every night. So he's asking for regular people, whether you're Christians, whether you're atheists, to light a menorah so that that Jews won't be targeted for doing that or practicing that. Which okay, but I saw there's two things. One, like I said, if you stand against Israel, and Israel and Zionists, Jews and Zionists, completely different. But I'll try to pull it up.
That's like saying like human and Republican.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. If I can share this, and I know there's not going to be sound because I can't do sound. I don't know why. But
so if you share the tab instead of it, when it gives you the option at the top, when it says present, if you go to the top before you share, go present. And go and then see on the top it gives you those three options. It says Brave tab or whatever tab, Windows, and entire screen. Share the window that you're trying to share.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And it still doesn't have sound?
Yeah.
It should
have
sound.
There's a Turkish lawmaker, Hassan Bitmez.
Oh, yeah. And he had
a heart attack seconds after saying Israel would suffer the wrath of Allah. Literally, he says it.
Well, they say, like, God will strike you. But he probably just got a jab and.
This is it. And block. So, did y'all hear that at all?
No, they can't hear it.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was quite telling. Also, this one I can share. It's not a. This is just funny for Canadians. The Canadian military to provide tampons to male soldiers. Why?
What are they going to do with them?
Why? Yeah. That's not the height. If that's not the height of pretending, I don't know what is. But yeah, they are.
Smoke them if you got them, folks. I mean, I don't know. What is the point of that?
Your tax dollars at work, man.
Okay.
And I sent you. If you look, there's
in Twitter.
Yeah, in Twitter, there's like these guys' eyes up there. Do you see that? If you click on that and share it.
You think there's somebody's eyes in Twitter?
Yeah, and then I sent you a message and it's like the guy's eyes. Because remember, I was telling y'all last week that.
Oh yes, I see it.
If you told Alexa to ask her about the World War III, like there's. And this is back in the end of November.
Playing right away. Hold on. It's going to be one of those things where I can't share it fast enough, and I'll have to
I wanted you to know I was not crazy, that I actually had heard about this.
Okay, I'll try.
Oh, I got to share it. Sorry.
The attack will be devastating and incorporate weapons never before.
Let me see if I refresh it, if it'll restart. Okay.
Alexa, when will World War III start?
World War III will commence on March 1st, 2024, when the Chinese invade the United States from within by activating countless sleeper cells.
I just don't believe it.
This will be followed by full military invasion on both coasts by Russia and China. The attack will be devastating and incorporate weapons never before seen by mankind. Humanity as we know it will be forever changed and never return to its former glory as the Republic of China will rule going forth.
And notice Martha Gibson says, my Alexa doesn't say that. And most likely this moron said, hey,
Everything that I've
ChatGPT,
seen,
AI,
everything, not some stuff,
recreate this
everything
statement.
that I've saw, I could get mine to do.
I'm
Everything.
telling you.
Where's
that-
the Antichrist? All that other stuff. It all.
Yes.
Do you work for the CIA? All of those things right away. I got to do it, and they take it off.
You guys, I'm telling you, I think it is created by people that are really good with all this AI and ChatGPT, and they bought the Plus thing, and they're like,
Yeah,
hey, do
but
it in Alexa
Tom
voice
Hanks
and
is
say this
is
thing, and then they record
AI.
it.
But you believe Tom Hanks is an AI? Come on.
Yes.
When like regular people can find this stuff out, I 100% every time, everything that I have heard right away. If I go and test the computer, test Alexa, it's real. Every single one. Every single one. Do you work for the CIA? Do you give my information to 3-letter agencies? All that stuff. Where's the Antichrist?
Well, that is true.
All those things. Yes,
Actually,
you can pick and choose. Then fine.
CVS. Who
So
else?
you can pick and choose, but it's everything I've ever looked at. It's real.
Not Walgreens, but CVS. Who else? A bunch of pharmacies released your prescriptions to the who did they release it to? Was it the FBI or to the government today? There was a story about that today.
Now this
The national pharmacy chain CVS, Kroger, Rite Aid have handed over Americans' prescription records to police and government investigators without a warrant. And congressional investigation found this in the Washington Post reports. So, just so you know,
so this is a member of Parliament, for the government of Poland.
Oh, did he pull the fire thing too?
No, so much worse. This is a member of Parliament, an MP. Grzegorz Braun, he puts out the Parliament Hanukkah menorah.
Well, is there a menorah and a
Look at that.
cross?
Look at that. That's anti-Semitism on an unbelievable level.
It's not anti-Semitism if it's, why is there not Christian celebration in the Parliament?
Well,
If he's doing separation of church
why
and
isn't there
state,
devil worship stuff there? Then?
if it's separation of church and state, if he's saying
It's
this is
fucking Poland, dude.
government,
What are you talking about? It's Poland. Do you think they have separation? Do you know about their governmental
I
structure?
don't. Mm-mm.
Okay, he put out a fucking menorah that the government has put up every Christmas, every Hanukkah, and he went and extinguished it like that.
So do they not
talk
have
about
a
it.
constitution? Are they not?
They do have a
they not?
constitution. I know because they've said it's part of the constitution. But that's, I think, insane. You've got these two sides that are really to decide to do that with everybody watching. That's such a public statement. It's insane that like the two different sides that are coming out.
He
Now.
got everybody's
Really
attention.
different
So
sides.
whatever his reasons were, now maybe people will
If
listen.
you got people using the Z word and saying Zionists, as well as people talking about Israel, those are two separate ones, and then people with the Palestine, that's like three different sides, and it's getting kind of crazy. Yeah. Merry Christmas to you too.
And Merry Christmas to you too. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. A Merry Christmas. Hope you have a happy New Year. You made me lose my train of thought. I was going to say something. But I think it's kind of crazy. Oh yeah, so I watched this dude. This dude did a documentary. It was amazing. He went and is in San Francisco, and he went and interviewed a bunch of people, gay people, and lesbian people, and said, hey, what do you think you side more with Israel? Everyone's like, oh no, Palestine, 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 Israel bad, Palestine good, blah blah blah, 100%, like 20 people. Then he goes over to Gaza, and he didn't go to crazy Gaza. He said he went to the moderate part of Gaza, like the middle of the road. He's like, hey, what do you think about gay people? Well, it went from they need to all be jailed, to they need to be killed, like bad killed, like run through the streets.
Why is the gay thing an issue?
So because these were gays for Palestine or queers for Palestine, whatever it's called. It's a big movement. And so he goes, but he was making this documentary, but he went back to those 20 people and showed them like the stuff that he had when he went to Palestine. And literally 100% of everybody changed their minds, like, oh, that's terrible. I'm 100% behind Israel now. But one guy said, and all of them were like, well, yes, I've researched it. And me and my partner have talked about this at length, and we know what we're talking about. And all of them were like, no. We're completely opposite now. But one or two people said, I think I may have been getting the wrong information. I think I may have been fed the wrong information. So it's so like
Yeah, I think we've all been fed the wrong information.
Yeah, and you can think you can have hope, and you have hope because of your echo chamber. If you just go to look at the other side, like on Twitter or Instagram, wherever, there are so many people who are like, yeah, obviously, Trump's the most hated president in history. He's actually, chronologically the worst president in history. It's proven historical fact, and it's like crazy stuff. But it's like all of these, and we're at like at 50-50. It's still like half and half. We really need people to wake up on both sides and be like, hey, everyone's lying to us. Everyone's feeding us a bunch of bullshit. And we have to take back our media and the press. When we lost the press is when we lost the press to money and greed. And then when Obama passed the law allowing the United States to use propaganda on its own people, that was it. That was done. Press done. So that's what we need to fix. Whenever we do, fix everything, when it all falls apart and we go to fix it again, we have to. That's one of the most important things, is a free press, and we have to keep it free, because the press is what polices the police. It's what.
So how do you police the press then to keep them free? That's where that's.
You have to cut out monopolies. You have to not allow people, and it goes against the free markets. But this is the one place where no one person or group can have that much power, where they own so much of what people get their information from. It has to be independent. It has to be mom and pops, different newspapers, and they can get, you can subscribe to the Wall Street Journal wherever you live in the United States. You can, so it's not like you're limiting, their scope of the money they can make, but we have to limit what outlets they own. There has to be different voices that people can get their information from. It's what killed everything, because there's people who are fed a certain narrative and they believe that's the true narrative, and that one group can tell you the other group is a bunch of liars. You watch Fox News and they'll tell you CNN and MSNBC are completely fake, and give you proof. And you can watch the MSNBC and CNN, and they're going to tell you Fox News completely fake, and they'll give you proof. It's ridiculous. You can go, whatever happens, Biden falls on the stairs, Vivek says something. You can go and look at all three of those, and they're completely different stories, completely opposite. It's so obvious.
I guess it's just systemic though, because it's not just the media, it's the way that our school systems are. So people have been trained. I was watching this guy and he was like, science is dead because he said I had these young, kids out of college or whatever join me in I don't know if he was in the Australian outback or somewhere. And he said they couldn't think for themselves. They couldn't okay, well, so if X is happening and Y is happening, then Z, what would Z be? What's gonna, what are we doing here? What are we observing and thinking? And what are our theory? What's a theory? Theory is never proven. It's just, it's coming to a theorem, right? And so but he was like, they can't come to Z without a third party peer reviewed paper and someone else's opinion. And, some of that is because we don't trust ourselves, or a lot of it is because we don't trust ourselves. And we think that without a link, without somebody else's opinion, that our voice means less than. And that's what, the media, all that, they want you to think that your voice, your opinion is less than. And that's why we keep submitting to these forces of, our leaders, our selected leaders, and all this bullshit. They're not more important than you. Don't let them walk down the street. If they haven't supported you and represented you in your town, your area, then shame on them. Don't let them park in that parking place. Hold them accountable. Ask them why. If you see them at the airport, ask them why. Ask them what they were doing, why they made the choices that they made, why they didn't support your vote, why they didn't, represent you like they were supposed to. Like, hold them accountable. That's the only way. The accountability piece is what is missing in America.
I think you're right on that. Critical thinking is dead. Communication is dying. Also, it seems like this generation is they're defeated before they try. It's like, hey,
they've been empowered to be defeated.
Here's an obstacle, and they're like, oh, I can't do that.
They've been empowered to be defeated.
Or it's like, hey, try.
No, get a ribbon.
I couldn't do it. It's not I couldn't do it. It's I can't.
Why? Yeah. Get a ribbon and be a victim, and then you're empowered.
We've never had this much information. That my nephew Tony that died, you could ask him, can you do this? Immediately say yes, no matter what it was. Hey, I got this pain here. They said I have a tumor. Can you do brain surgery? Oh yeah. He would tell you whatever. Like, I would say, hey man, do you know how to fix this? He would, yep. And then he would come over and look it up how to fix it. Look it up a YouTube video, and he, like 8 times out of 10, he got it done. It may have taken him a little bit longer, but he would always get it done. And then if he couldn't, he's like, oh, I can't, but he tried. And people just don't do that anymore. And we've never had this much information. You've never had it at your fingertips before. Like, I remember, this was like 25 years ago, but my car broke down and the had a blown head gasket. I had to go to the library, get those Chilton's automotive books, which are like a foot thick, come out every year. And then I had to look up how to do it. And then they had to Xerox the pages because you can't check them out.
Because it's a reference book. So you can't get out of the library.
I had to get like 5 pages Xerox. And then I literally, that's how I took apart the engine, put it back together. And that's what it took. Now you could have like 2 or 3 videos from professionals walking you through it, on your phone, on your tablet or whatever, while you're doing it. You could actually see them, do it and give you like, extra pointers or something. That's not going to
No, that's how Charlie worked on, I call it the turd, but the brown Mercedes, the 80 Mercedes, that not the pretty one that we're keeping that I love, but the brown one that he bought for like a project car. So much of it, he was like watching he found, some really good guys that had good reviews, and he would watch them and make sure they knew what they were doing, whatever. And then he got some, of his favorite guys that he watched, and he'd look up different projects and things they did on this car. And he was doing all kinds of stuff. I'm like, how did you know how to do this? He's like, oh, watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's like, we didn't have that when we were 20.
Yeah.
We didn't have that when we were 25, and we still were like, well, let me give it a go, and then if you can't do it, you can't do it. But no way would we be like, just can't do it.
And with that said, and yet we are still stuck at, the last great innovation we had was like, I don't even know. What was the last great innovation we had? And
The internet.
I guess
The
we
cell phone.
survived Y2K.
Yeah.
They fixed Y2K. I think that was the last great innovation. Something's wrong when you have all this information at your fingertips and we're not building things with it. We're not manufacturing. We're not making beautiful things. The sacred geometry stuff and
That's a whole different thing. The
all
making
that.
beautiful things. We've stopped doing that.
Mhm.
That's just what people wanted to do. They wanted to make things that were pleasing to look at, and now
So there's a whole psychology of that is when you're in, and if you look back at the trends in the Victorian times, when times were very hard, people wanted pretty, soft, light, just something pretty in this hard time. And then you watch when when there was when things were good, let's say in the 50s, they were doing like the rocket age and all that kind of stuff. Things got really streamlined, more simple, all that time. Then things got hard again. And then they were like, so they were showing this, if you look in history in like, whether it's for houses or fashion or whatever, that when times are hard, people want softer things around them or
I
pretty.
think since the Victorian age, we haven't really had another time of beauty. Growing up in Europe, I saw it all through the 80s. It was all just concrete.
Well, Art Deco, I would say, would be a time of beauty. I think America was supposed to be Art Deco.
Maybe, yeah, I could maybe see that.
The
But
20s.
but everything is very cold now. Everything that's made, it's all concrete and cold shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson made this point. I think I told you about it. It's that so the British government made that train station in India, which was for their subjects, was for their lower class, and it's still one of the most like beautiful buildings there is.
Really?
It's gorgeous, yeah, and like they made that because people they wanted to make things that were beautiful, What was it that you wanted to talk about?
I mostly talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to think if there was
See on
anything.
your channel, I'll talk about it over there.
Oh, did I forget something? You guys, this getting old stuff. Satoshi Shawn. Did I send you a link about it, or am I just thinking about it?
No, you were thinking about it.
Okay. Oh, was it I think it was the Treasury Department. It's getting kind of late, though. I don't have much time to talk.
Yeah,
So
also, you didn't
later tonight.
you didn't talk about the Supreme Court thing and how they're obviously wanting to get this done so that they can try Trump, before Super Tuesday, which I don't know. I think this is starting to lose steam. But if you look at the other side,
We're going to have the banks collapse way before that, and it won't matter. So we'll have the military out after that, and then it'll be chaos before that.
before March.
Possibly, yeah. Soon. They're talking about, there's rumors that there's like stuff happening on the 13th and the 15th and, how those dates come and go and all that kind of stuff. But there are,
I think there's going to be a big thing happening on the 25th. This month, guarantee you.
It's called Christmas.
Yeah. And then the night before the 1st, you'll see something crazy.
Christmas Eve.
No, that's New Year's, but yeah.
Oh, New Year's Eve.
Before the 1st. Yeah. All right.
Brunson and Brothers is still going strong. And actually, what did I hear about that? I have to look it up again. But if you're on my Telegram, you'll see all those updates.
Also, if you follow Lisa on Twitter, you're going to get a lot of posts.
You'll get a lot of information, a lot of great information.
All right, well, let's wrap it up. Remember to leave a comment down in the after this goes live, and then you're registered to win yourself some crypto.
Another crypto rednecks on.
Yeah, Crypto Rednecks this week. We're going to have a giveaway of the last. So go and comment on that video, the last Crypto Rednecks. And we're going to give away live 2 on my channel and on KISS. I want to play that video, play the beginning, but it's pretty long. So, what's one? I don't know. I'll just play this one.